mainly intermediate players I want to help out today. It's a very Brian 101, right? So 4 things to keep in mind, and then we get into details. Number 1, Snake Edge, so that's down for 3. This move should not be a factor when you play against Brian. What I mean is that beginner Brians are like, oh my god, check out my 50-50s! Mid launcher, right? Let's say from block, and then we do a low launcher. Oh my god, launching 50-50, motherfucker! Brian is SS++ tier, yo! So, high-level players don't use Snake Edge. It's 29 frame startup, it's very seeable. If it's blocked, Brian staggers, Brian dies. Very sad, Mr. Fury. Sad cyborg. If you already don't block this attack, I would advise you to go into practice mode and lab this animation and just make sure you block this 100%. That's what I mean when I say this move should not be a factor. That's step 1, and that's very basic. Step 2 is do not press out of turn. Now obviously you don't know when is it my turn, and that's something you will learn with time, but then at least fucking learn. Don't go seeing Brian on loading screen, ready, fight. You know, like you normally do. You guys press a lot, and that's okay, but that's why we're here. We're here to learn. You don't press a lot against Brian. In fact, as I said before, you want to turtle, and you want to let the Brian show you what he likes to do, right? Because he's desperate for you to press. He wants you to show your stuff all day long so he can fucking kill you. You're gonna wait, you're not gonna press out of turn, you're gonna see more hits, his patterns, and his timing. When does he like to press? And then you work your way in, and when you're up close, this is where you pressure Brian, and just like Kazuya, no panic buttons, just throw your stuff all day long. See if he has good defense, try to fucking knowledge check him, just go ham, go wild, now you can match. But you do not mash at this distance against Brian due to his space control, his just incredible buttons. With space control I mean his homing. Like his homing is like no other character. He controls the 3D space around you guys. And if you run into him, you get obliterated by his keep out, this move, this move. We're gonna get into detail, but no. Don't do that. Don't sidestep, don't press. When you work yourself in like this, or when Brian has done Requiem, which leaves him at -9, you start pressuring him. Go for it, and be smart in how you pressure. You play turtle, you don't press out of turn. You study the Brian player, right? Okay. The third rule we're gonna look at is don't duck and don't step. And this is something I heard from JDCR in Tag 2, and he said that when we play against Brian, yeah, we don't want to step, and this is because Brian's homing is way too slow. I'm showing you multiple buttons here that are all homing, and Requiem here, sorry. This doesn't look like much, but this is probably the best demon paw in the game. And you're like, but that's not a demon paw, that's an elbow. Yeah, this serves like a demon paw. It's got obscene range, but the true absurdity of this attack is the tracking. It's very hard to step. You step this right, but it's super hard to do. This is why I say he controls the polygons and the 3D space around you guys. He just does. You don't step, you play like a 2D matchup, and you don't duck. Brian's mids are super fucking scary. And I really mean that. Like, they are really scary. His lows, not so much. Although this one is super good. And this one is also good. But what I'm saying is, like, he doesn't really create too much damage or crazy situations. He has no health save to knock you down. So, as GDCR said, you'd rather eat a few hatchets than eat something like this. And when he does a hatchet, you can actually challenge him. Because hatchet is +5, and if he does multiple hatchets like this, it's at least 21 frames with influence. And sometimes slower because he can't buffer. But if he does stuff like this, I'm actually going to do turtles. Say you're doing what I think you should do, you turtle, and Brian's like, I can't get it, I need to start. You know, it doesn't have a 4 game, he only has 1+2, and I hope you can break that. But then
Get ready for the next battle.
He has to start doing multiple hatchets to get you to do something, to get you to duck. This is when Brian players get desperate against turtles. They start doing stuff like this. Like, come on! Duck! You fuck! And here you have multiple ways of beating this. If you think he's gonna do multiple hatchets, like his startup is so slow, but I can easily squeeze 15 in, right? Hatchet is just 21 frames at the fastest, right? If he has flawless execution. So don't be afraid of challenging stuff like this, right? If you think he's gonna start spamming hatchets. This is also one of the times where you can use sidestepping against Brian. Hatchet loses to sidewalk left. Of course he has homing buttons, but I'm just trying to say that in the end Tekken is not black and white, but I'm trying to give you the fundamentals, right? You also have to factor in that when Brian does Link's hatchets, there's no evasion. He keeps his back straight. We can even use heights here, right? There's no evasion. So magic force kind of stuff. I'm just trying to say that hatchet, while it is chunky, can be scary. Unless he counter hits, it's just not that strong. That was number 3. Don't duck, don't step. You know what, I'm gonna explain this later, but I wanted to say that up close, yeah, don't step. At this range, where you're dealing with mostly core circle back 1 and Requiem, you can step right. And that beats Requiem, but it's very hard. We're gonna get into it. This is rule number 4, and this is really important. When Brian has comboed you and you're recovering at the wall, stay on the ground. You know when you eat a huge counter hit launcher from Brian and it's combo, 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 infinite wall travel, tick 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 tick, you know, at the wall, and then he finishes with a knee. Don't tech roll. Stay on the ground. You have no clue how much this will help you and how much it will throw off Brian players. But to many of you, just honestly autopilot tech roll anytime you're juggled. Don't do that. Don't let him use his taunt at the wall. Let him try and figure out what to do when you stay on the ground and do a few rolls like this. This is how a lot of top players deal with his rolls. Those are my 4 basic rules. Let's do that. Snake edge should not be a factor. Number 2, do not press out of turn. Try to turtle. Pressure him up close instead. Number 3, don't duck, don't step. And then number 4, don't tech roll at the wall. In the neutral you can, but not at the wall. If you do these 4, in my opinion, this should already be a kill. But so let's look at the neutral. I'm standing from this distance. If someone is spamming orbitals, you don't want to run in, right? A good way of dealing with this is by simply jabbing. You can float him out of this. Again, this is what I want to stress. This is very risky because that's the best orbital when he does it straight up. If you're not careful in how you do this, like you are the one getting fucked, right? But typically, orbital is dealt with by jab checking. Typically how it's dealt with. Another button, and this is one of the most hated buttons in Tekken 8, I think, is Brian does 3-4, 3-4. And a lot of people think this is impossible to beat. No, but Brian, if you block this, Brian is minus 13.
Get ready
like
for
if
the
he
next
just does
battle.
3-4 into 3-4, you shouldn't really have an issue. Also know that 3-4 has no tracking. It's good to know, right? So if someone's spamming this, like, you should be able to deal with it. I'll do damage on time. Stuff like this. But of course, neutral is never this simple against Brian. If he wants to attack you from this distance, he will mostly do core circle back 1, or he will do Requiem. So first off, core circle back 1. And as I said before, at this range we don't really want to step too much, and it's due to Requiem. So the way I play the neutral here is, this move, you're gonna look for it by ducking. He's gonna mix it with Requiem, which is a mid, so it's a little bit risky. But if he is a bit obvious with this, try to launch punish this attack. Can be hard to do at first. But you see, this is a punish. I'm trying to be a bit slow on purpose. That was slow. You can practice that and get good at it. This he will mix with Requiem. This is his Demon Paw, and this move sort of defines his neutral almost in this game. It's so strong. If I'm trying to duck or circle back once, I get fucked by this. So of course you need to have somewhat of a read. If I sidehog left, you
Video
can't
capture
this.
not.
That's why I said, if you're at this range,
Wait.
further away, try to step right.
Get ready for the next battle.
But if I just sidewalk right, you see how this hits me, right? So you have to do it with timing. Now! Oh, you see? Oh, look at that. Do you see this? This move has absurd tracking. So that's why most people in the neutral here, they don't even try to step this. Because this move tracks more than it should. So instead, it's try to get the read on a quarter circle back one, duck and punish. And if he commits to this one, he's now -9, and you take your turn. And that's basically how we try to deal with his neutral. Let's say a lesser Brian, so these are a lot of intermediate Brians, they will throw back one instead of Requiem. Back one is not the best neutral button for Brian. We just step right, the way we would step Requiem, right? So back one shouldn't really be a factor. You can step at both sides, but yeah, step right, considering Requiem loses to step right. So back one really shouldn't be much of an issue for you. Also has limited range. Another popular button that you need to know how to beat is versus a back short. This move should always be ducked by you. So mid-high. Just get that into your system that it's mid-high. Hop, hop, poof. Did you see my poof? Hop, hop, poof. So this should just always be low and finish if a Brian goes it up. I'm gonna give you a little piece of advice here, which is worth its weight in gold. Say he is up close, you know, he's trying to lock you down. He can use these homing buttons, etc. But how many of you have been hit by this move 1,000,000 times into a full juggle? You probably have. And this is a very fast button. Like this mid homing is 23 frame startup. But this is the homing button that's really gonna hurt. Now I'm gonna blow your mind. This is not guaranteed. This is actually not guaranteed. But the counter is very specific, and it's something you have to do, because unless you know how to counter this homing move is kind of broken in my opinion. It's too fast, too much reach, too much damage, only -14 and with big pushback. So how do we deal with this move? We're gonna tech roll it, but here's the tricky part. You can't tech roll this left, you have to tech roll it right. To tech roll right on player 2, which is my side here, I use a punch button. On the left side it's going to be a kick button. I'm pretty sure I did not get that wrong. And here's another thing, you don't want to mash your tech button. Do you see it didn't work? I got launched. Do you see that? So again, this takes a little bit of practice to do. It's not super easy, but it's good to know that this actually isn't a true combo. It's a bit specific in timing as well. You don't want to mash it. Instead, what you want to do is you want to time this with tech roll. With when Brian is into his heel. Right? Then I start mashing. And then I get my tech roll. What I try to look for is Brian taking back his arm. As soon as Brian takes back his arm, I start mashing. I jerked it too fast. I came too fast. But it's because Brian's dreams are so cute. And another thing is a key part of Brian's offense. Again, he's not very good with poking, so that's small Tekken. Although down 4 is good, but these don't really build momentum, you know, on hit. And he doesn't have a normal down for one, you know, a 13 frame mid check that's like -1 He doesn't have that. Closest thing he has is like a down 2 with limited range 14 frame start at -2 lock, but he tests your patience yet again, not only with counter launchers that build momentum. You gotta be wary of how you get out of this. He will test your patience with strength, but don't necessarily have the best frames if you block them, right? Okay, you see, it's 5, -10, -2, which is decent. Target here. This is first -6, -7. But all of these have counter-hitting follow-ups where if he chooses to add them, you'll get launched, right? So this is where he tests your
Get ready
patience.
for the next
Not
battle.
only with counter-hit launchers in the neutral, but am I going to follow through on this string or not? Or am I just gonna bait you like this? Oh, I'm not gonna do a follow-up. Oh. That's why I'm saying turtle.
Hey, Mr. Fancy Stick, welcome to chat. But I think this might be something wrong with my game. I might need to do a restart on my computer. Yep.
Look at the Brian player's patterns and then try and call him out on his bullshit. And then anytime he does a follow through here, know that down to 3 is -10, down 4 to 3 is -13 with pushback. Back 3 1 plus 2 is safe at -6, but you can try to pressure him
Get
after
ready
this.
for the next
This one is the
battle.
most important, I think. This is his machine gun punches. This is highly delayable, right? You can do 4 once and then add a 2. Like this. Just know that any time he does a down for 1 and ends at it like this, he adds 1, he's -10. So you can eat a flashbang. If he does the full thing, launch punishable. You have to launch him every time. When he's up close, he'll do forward 3 like this. This is a counter hit launcher. Can I do a 2 charge? See, this is a counter hit launcher.
Swag on the
So
money, we
it's a
real
mid,
scum killers.
and it's
We
safe
stay
on.
on the
This is
bag, real
completely
risky
unique.
player,
I don't think
straight
there's another move
VIP.
like this. If he stands further,
Hey, what's up, Mr.
you see
Coltonfit?
those frames, right?
How's it going, man?
Can get that again. This is from tip range. He gets +2. So this is something where you have to know that a really skilled Brian player builds momentum up close using a mid countered launcher. And he has a 10 frame countered string and 1 2 4. This is a classic flowchart.
Haha, dude.
1 2 4. Knowing about forward 3 and the fact that it's neutral. And
Welcome back, dude. I took a few days off.
Typically,
Okay, I think now it's better.
A little bit actually to perform this move. We're gonna look at annoying strings like 1 2 1, 1 2 3. This is a countered string, meaning that
Maybe Tekken is
if Brian mashes 1 2 1,
maybe
and
Tekken is
you
made
press
for like AMD graphics card because I'm having issues with it with NVIDIA graphics card because of the AMD that AM something something in the graphics settings. It's always keep on automatically putting me on that setting. Dude, there's something wrong with the game, man. Like, Oh, dude, far out, man. That setting wasn't right either. I think I might have to restart my computer, bro. Fuck. Oh man, you're funny. All right, well, let's see if I can find a queue.
Kazuyamishima. Hachimishima. Get ready for the next battle.
Do you play other things or just Tekken? I also play Dota. Defense of the Ancients, bro. Dota 2, not Dota 1. That's about it. Dota and Tekken. I'm trying to get Kazuya to Tekken King if I can. So that means my Brian is on Tekken King, my Kuma is on Emperor, and my Kazuya is on Tekken King. My mom's played that? I guess that's why you call me uncle. Wow. So how old are you, dude? plays it nearly every day. She fucking hated it. Well, I mean, I'm sorry to hear that, bro. Hopefully one day she will find a game that she likes and she enjoys playing it instead of playing something that she hates. She's 38. Oh gosh. Man, I remember I was 19 once. It's all good. I'm just joking. She enjoys it. How old are you? I already told you last time, man. You don't have to ask me every time. Bro, I'm 38. Yeah, you did. Far out, man. Oh man, this is so lame. My bad, my bad. Oh no, it's so good. I don't care. Well, hopefully this time I'll connect to the network properly instead of just being weird.
Kazuya Mishima. Jack 8.
Nah, man. Bro, I think there's still something wrong with the net, so I'm gonna need to restart my computer. I'll be back in like 3 to 5 minutes. Sorry about that.